I am so proud that Connecticut continues to be a leader when it comes to getting these illegal guns off the street. And if you're not serious about gun safety laws and strict enforcement of gun safety, you're not serious about crime in this state.
1 year later.
A day of shopping turns into a panic sprint for safety after a shooting inside a mall in Connecticut. 5 people were hurt.
Waterbury police say they believe there was one gunman, possibly with an accomplice.
And this event shows you once again that the law is only as good as those who will follow it. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below if you like channel, like content, what I do. You can support with a link. Everything's appreciated. Online store is open. CGB20 will get you 20% off free shipping. Connecticut residents, you got to pay the tax. I have no say in the matter. But CGB20 will get you 20% off across the board. Let's talk about this. And when I heard this, I was at work, actually, when somebody came by and said, "Oh, did you hear?" And immediately I just went, "Damn it." And not so much damn it because it happened. I said, damn it, because I know immediately that the usual grifters here in Connecticut were going to be using this event to push for more gun control. We had SB 1160, we had HB 6667, and the face of crime, especially gun crime, has not changed despite what they tell you. It is still just as violent. And now, this event took place in Waterbury, Connecticut, about 40 minutes away at this mall. It's called the Brass Mill Center. And this was not a random act of violence. It wasn't some idiot who was trying to kill as many people as they possibly could. What this was a beef that started out verbal and then escalated to gunfire. And apparently this person managed to strike 5 people. So they can add this to the mass shooting tally, which I'm sure they're gleefully doing. And of course, the governor runs down there, the mayor runs down there, they're all down there using their usual talking points. But let me go ahead and give you some more information so we can dig deeper.
Police surround a Waterbury, Connecticut mall Tuesday, the scene of a shooting.
We have several gunshot wound victims.
Police say at least 5 people were shot in the Brass Mill Center Mall, about 90 miles northeast of Manhattan. Investigators believe the gunman was armed with a semi-automatic pistol.
We do not believe this was a random act of violence. We believe this started as a conflict and it escalated.
L1 on. We're shooting civilians outside the mall.
After the suspect and possible accomplice fled, officers went store by store to escort out terrified shoppers.
It's really amazing to watch people in this time of crisis keep cool heads and follow plans and shelter in place.
In a statement, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont said in part, "Our hearts break for the Waterbury community, the victims and their families who have been impacted by this incident."
Heard that and you saw that. Now, I waited a day because I know a lot of people rushed to just get this out because this went national. This was a national story. But everybody rushed to get it out. But I said, let me hold back. I want to see who the actual perpetrator is here. Because I said right from the beginning, I guarantee you, this is not a law-abiding citizen who did this. This is not a permit holder who did this. This is not somebody who is under any kind of criminal scrutiny. I said, I guarantee this is just an idiot who went out and decided to try to hurt these people because he didn't like the confrontation that they were in. Sure enough, they have picked up a person for this.
Although he was able to hit his targets 5 separate times, by some miracle, no one was killed in this, and I still don't know how that could have happened.
Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo said that Tuesday's shooting started as a conflict among people who knew each other and escalated from there.
We see this more and more when it comes to violence, especially gun violence in our community, and frankly, when I talk to my peers across the state in their communities as well. The conflict resolution skills are just lacking, and people just immediately escalate to this act of violence to resolve issues.
Washington has outstanding charges for reckless driving and was out on a $25,000 bond. Washington's defense attorney argued that he had reasonable belief that his life was in danger during the alleged altercation.
The police report here indicates, Your Honor, that witnesses observed a mob of 8 to 10 people hover outside of the store that Mr. Washington was alleged to have been in. They state that this mob provoked him, screaming things like, "Come outside and let's bang it out." In blockading the entryway, Your Honor, Mr. Washington would have also had no opportunity to retreat.
While the state argued for a $3 million bond, the judge kept Washington's bond at $2 million and set his next court date for Wednesday, June 4th.
19-year-old Tajon Washington, who has broken multiple laws before he even pulled the trigger on that firearm. 19, he can't have a permit. Connecticut, you must be 21 to have a permit. And you also have to be 21 to own a handgun. You use that permit to go get the handgun. So right there, he just blew it. 2, and you're going to find this out, he is also out on bond from another felony arrest for reckless driving, which means he could not own that firearm in the first place as a felon. It just goes on and on. All the gun control that we have in this state, this 19-year-old just blew through a whole slew of established gun control laws without batting an eyebrow. Just forget about the fact that he pulled the trigger and injured these people. That's minor, in a sense. It's everything leading up to this. He made every conscious decision to get a gun illegally, to get ammunition illegally, because you need a permit now to buy ammunition. So there's 19 carrying a firearm without a permit. I can go on and on and on. Gun control laws do not work, but I know for a fact that Lamont and Tong, these are our illustrious leaders, and Stastrom and all the rest of them are sitting around figuring out how can we use this to get the emotional fodder that we need to push through more gun control. That's what they're doing right now. Now, the governor did come out, I believe the next day, and made a statement. I want to play this.
This incident here ripples right through the community, and people say, oh my God, this is every day. It's not. This is one of our safest towns, full police force. They were here within 3 minutes, but I really worry. These are folks that know each other. They have a beef. Used to be you do this if you had a beef. Now you do this, and that's dangerous.
Let me tell you something, America. I don't have to tell Connecticut people. America, he is lying to you. Waterbury is not a safe city. Okay, he's straight lying to you. It's not safe. I wouldn't be in certain parts of Waterbury. No, he's lying to you. But notice the language.
People. So, and with that, I would like to introduce Governor Lamont. Thank you so much for coming down, Governor. We appreciate all your support.
Thank you, Mayor. And Waterbury strong. This is why we're here today. This is a great city. And it's a city that is safe and getting safer. I want to say this was a terrible tragedy. Hearts and prayers go out to those that were hit hard. I think they're all going to be okay. Fingers crossed. Prayers out there. That's in part because the Waterbury police were here in 3 minutes. That's in part because we got the ambulances there right down to these local churches doing everything we could. But this type of crime is just shocking to me. The chief said a lot of the crime, it maybe is one-off, but they know each other. These are not random acts of violence. This started out with some sort of a beef, some sort of an argument. And rather than ending up with a fisticuffs, somebody pulls out a semi-automatic and shoots 7 rounds and, badly wounds 5 people. Like that, just like that.
Oh, it used to just end in fisticuffs, but now this person pulled out a semi-automatic firearm. Took the time to mention what kind of firearm it is. Who cares? What if he had pulled out a revolver, a 7-shot revolver, and did the same thing? He wouldn't say to you, he pulled out a revolver. No, he's making a point of saying it's a semi-automatic. Listen to the words. There's a psyop going on here, okay? But going forward, Connecticut residents, expect them to use this event to push through gun control. expect them to do it, because that's what they do. Sandy Hook was the catalyst for gun control laws across the nation. Don't think they're going to let this one. Well, Rahm Emanuel, if I'm not mistaken, never let a tragedy go to waste. Now, nobody died, and that's a great thing. Nobody died. But they're going to ignore every single aspect of this entire encounter, except for the fact that a firearm was used to injure people. They're going to ignore the fact that the guy is a felon, couldn't own a gun, ignore the fact that he didn't get a permit, ignore the fact that he was carrying a gun illegally, they're going to ignore the fact that he got the ammunition illegally. They're going to ignore all of that to simply focus on the fact that a firearm was used to injure people. It's mind-boggling, but I expect it, and it's probably going to happen because that's how they are. I remember watching one hearing where Staffstrom, one of our leading anti-gun advocates, was quick to talk about every single mass shooting that he could come up with to justify HB 6667, which is the latest gun control package that we got. But he could not take the time to mention anyone who had been killed en masse by an event that did not include a firearm. Why? Because that would expose the hypocrisy to the whole agenda. My prayers and thoughts go out to the people who were shot. I mean, this, like I said, this was a beef between two parties, and this person decided because he had a gun, he was going to use it. Even though, once again, bringing up another fact, that the Brass Mill Center is a gun-free zone. See how that works? But expect to see gun control come from this, because this is what they do here in Connecticut. They take events of murder and mayhem and use them as catalysts to pass laws that have absolutely nothing to do with the actual problem. They're going to ignore the actual problem, which one of them is soft on crime, which the state is. And they will continue to focus on the fact that a firearm was used and ignore all the other factors that led up to that moment. It's like they have this mentality that the gun walked itself to the Brass Mill Center, had an argument with somebody, and shot itself, and then left. That's literally the mentality they're going to have. But I don't expect anything good to come of this because, once again, now we have another high-profile incident in this state. And as I said, they have no problem exploiting murder and mayhem to pass agendas that have nothing to do with the murder and the mayhem. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.